Choir kids, what's the worst thing your parent did for church glory? My mother's hand cracked across my face so hard I tasted blood. Wrong note again. From the top. We'd been in the church basement for 4 hours and my throat felt like I'd swallowed glass. She held up her phone. 127 viewers watching live. The comments flooded in faster than I could read them. Such dedication. Evelyn, you're amazing. Push her harder. I saw myself in the phone screen. Red handprint spreading across my cheek. Tears streaming down. My throat raw from singing the same hymn 43 times. Stop crying. Mom's voice was ice. You're embarrassing our family. Sarah Patterson hits every note perfectly and she's 2 years younger than you. This was Sunday routine number 147 since I turned 15. I know because I keep count. I mark them in my journal like prison sentences. It started with gentle corrections. A pinch on my arm when I hit a flat note. Normal stuff, I thought. Every choir kid gets corrected. By 16, she was throwing sheet music at my head. The corner of a hymnal left a scar above my left eyebrow. She told everyone I walked into a door. Now at 17, it's slapping, hair pulling, making me hold notes until black spots dance in my vision and I nearly pass out. All of it broadcast live to her Facebook group called Practice Highlights. 800 members who pay $5 monthly for exclusive training content. I've done the math. 4 hours every Sunday, 3 hours Wednesday, 2 hours Friday. That's 468 hours per year of this. 468 hours of her hand on the back of my neck, forcing my chin up. 468 hours of her voice in my ear telling me I'm worthless unless I'm perfect. The voice teacher at school noticed my hoarseness last month. Asked if I was sick. Mom pulled me out the next day. Homeschool now. More time for practice, she said. Today something inside me broke when she hit me again. Harder this time. My head snapped sideways and I coughed. Blood splattered across the white church carpet. Bright red drops on pristine white. Mom froze mid-lecture. She stared at the blood like it was a foreign substance. Like it couldn't possibly have come from her daughter's throat. Clean that up. Her voice was flat. We have competition semifinals in 2 weeks. I grabbed paper towels from the bathroom, caught my reflection in the mirror. Swollen neck, burst blood vessels in my eyes making them look demonic. This wasn't normal. This wasn't training. While cleaning, I found her notebook on the piano bench. She'd been documenting my resistance episodes for church leadership. Every time I hesitated, every time I cried, every time I asked for water. The last entry made my stomach drop. Vanessa remains defiant, considering residential music camp recommendation from Pastor Williams. 3 months intensive training. No outside contact. She was building a case to send me away. Mom's footsteps echoed upstairs. Meeting with the choir director. I was alone in the basement, phone still streaming to an empty room. The viewer count had dropped to 12. I leaned close to the camera. My voice came out as a whisper. If you're watching this, I need help. Vanessa? I spun around. Alex stood at the bottom of the stairs. 22 years old, the church's sound tech. He'd been there every Sunday for 2 years, running the board upstairs while I died slowly in the basement. He held up his phone. I've been recording everything through the church's system. My heart stopped. What? 47 practice sessions saved to the cloud, every slap, every scream, every time you begged for water and she said no. Alex, if she finds out, she won't. He showed me the files, time-stamped, date-stamped, her face clear in half of them. This is abuse, Vanessa. We need to tell someone. Footsteps on the stairs. Mom returning. Alex shoved his phone in his pocket. I straightened up, wiped the blood from my mouth, tried to look normal, tried to look like her perfect daughter. Mom appeared, her church lady smile plastered across her face, the same smile she wore when accepting compliments about her dedication as a mother. Good news. She clasped her hands together like she was praying. Pastor wants you to sing solo at Easter service. 500 people. 3 weeks to prepare. 3 weeks. That's all the time I had before everything would change forever. The next morning, I waited until Mom left for her women's Bible study before approaching Dad. He was in his study, surrounded by highlighted verses and sermon notes for his Sunday school class. The bloody tissues from yesterday's practice were balled up in my pocket. My hands shook as I pulled them out and set them on his desk, right on top of his open Bible. What's this? He didn't look up from his notes. Blood. From practice yesterday. He finally raised his eyes, saw the dried brown stains. His face went pale for a second before he composed himself. Your mother told me you had a nosebleed. The basement gets so dry this time of year. It wasn't a nosebleed, Dad. I coughed it up, from my throat. He set down his highlighter, folded his hands, put on his counseling face, the one he used when church members came to him with marital problems. Vanessa, your mother just wants excellence for God. Sometimes that means pushing ourselves beyond comfort. She streams it online, Dad, to 800 people, his eyebrows furrowed. Streams what? The practices. Every single one. She has a Facebook group where people pay to watch her train me. That can't be right. I pulled up the group on my phone, showed him the member count, the payment setup. $5 per month for exclusive content. Yesterday's stream had 243 views. He stared at the screen, did the math in his head. His accountant brain kicked in. That's $4,000 a month. Yeah, where is it, Dad? Your mother said she was saving for your college fund. Check the account. He pulled up the banking app on his computer, typed in the password. I watched his face change as he scrolled through the statements. The college savings account had $500, the same $500 that had been there since I was 10. There must be another account, he said quietly. For your training expenses, your throat sprays, the competition fees. Competition fees are $300. She's collected over $40,000 in the past year. His jaw tightened. He closed the laptop, looked at the bloody tissues on his Bible. Then he did what he always did. He found a way to make it okay in his mind. Your mother handles the finances for your music. I'm sure she has receipts. I'll ask her about it tonight. Dad, please. She hits me. You've seen the bruises. You've always bruised easily. Even as a baby, you'd get marks from your car seat straps. She made me practice until I coughed blood. He stood up, walked to the window, hands clasped behind his back like he was praying. Your mother loves you, Vanessa. Everything she does is for your future, for God's glory. Sometimes that looks harsh to the world, but we're not of this world, are we? I knew then. He wouldn't help me. He couldn't help me. Because helping me meant admitting what she was, what he'd allowed, what he'd watched happen for years while hiding in his study, preparing lessons about God's love. Monday morning, I snuck out while Mom was at her prayer group and drove to my old public school. Mrs. Rodriguez was still in her office. Same motivational posters, same dead plant on the windowsill. She looked up when I knocked. Vanessa? I thought you were homeschooled now. I need help. She stood immediately, came around her desk. That's when she saw the bruises. 5 purple fingerprints on each arm where Mom had gripped me during yesterday's practice. Perfect handprints. Oh, honey, sit down. She took photos with her phone, documented each bruise, asked me to roll up my sleeves higher, more bruises going up to my shoulders. She photographed those too. Has she hit you? Yes. How often? Every practice, 3 times a week. She wrote everything down, then she picked up her phone. I need to call your mother. Please don't. I'm a mandated reporter, Vanessa. I have to. She dialed. Mom picked up on the first ring. Mrs. Chen? This is Elena Rodriguez from Riverside High. I need you to come in for a concerning behavior discussion about Vanessa. I couldn't hear Mom's response, but Mrs. Rodriguez's face tightened. No, it can't wait. I need you here within the hour or I'm calling child services. 20 minutes. That's how long it took Mom to arrive. She walked in wearing her church outfit, pearls, modest dress, Bible clutched in her hand like a weapon. What seems to be the problem? Her voice was honey sweet. Mrs. Rodriguez showed her the photos on her phone. These bruises, Mrs. Chen. They're concerning. Mom actually laughed. Oh, goodness. Vanessa has always been dramatic. She bruises if you look at her wrong. Last week she got a bruise from leaning against the kitchen counter. These are finger marks from helping her with posture during practice. You have to understand proper singing requires physical guidance. Mom pulled out her phone, started scrolling. Here, look at these. She showed Mrs. Rodriguez message after message from church members. Testimonials about my gift, about how blessed they were by my singing, about how dedicated Mom was to nurturing my talent. Pastor Williams himself wrote this one. Mom pointed to the screen. The Chen family exemplifies Christian dedication. Their daughter's voice is a testament to disciplined training. Mrs. Rodriguez shifted in her seat. Still, these bruises. Are you suggesting I'm abusing my daughter? Mom's voice went cold. Because my brother is a lawyer. He handles defamation cases. The threat hung in the air. Mrs. Rodriguez's face changed. I watched her retreat into herself, another adult who wouldn't help. I'm not suggesting anything. I just wanted to check in. Mom stood, smoothed her dress. Vanessa, get your things. We're leaving. In the parking lot, Mom grabbed my arm, right on the bruises, squeezed until I gasped. Try that again and I'll tell everyone you're mentally unstable. I'll say you're hurting yourself for attention. Who do you think they'll believe? The troubled teen who bruises herself? Or the devoted Christian mother with 800 witnesses to her dedication? She let go, smiled at a teacher walking by, waved. Get in the car. We have practice in an hour, and tonight, you're going to apologize to Mrs. Rodriguez for wasting her time. You're going to tell her you're stressed about the competition and you overreacted. Understood? I nodded, got in the car, felt the bruises throb under my sleeves. That night, Mom made me pay for embarrassing her at school with a 6-hour practice session. She set up her phone on the tripod, hit record. The viewer count climbed immediately, 50, 75, 100. By the time we started, 200 people were watching me suffer. From the top, amazing grace. I opened my mouth. My throat was already raw from crying in the car. The first note came out scratchy. Again, I tried. The note cracked. Again. She walked to her phone, started reading comments out loud. Mrs. Kim says you need more breath support. She's right. You're not breathing from your diaphragm. She pressed her hand hard into my stomach. Breathe here. Not here. She grabbed my throat, squeezed. Feel the difference? I nodded, couldn't speak with her hand on my neck. Again, I sang. My voice cracked completely on the high note. Not just cracked, disappeared, like someone had switched off a light. Mom's face went red. You're doing this on purpose. She went to the supply cabinet, pulled out salt and vinegar, mixed them in a cup. Gargle. Mom, please. It burns. This is what professionals do. Adele does this. Beyoncé does this. Stop being weak. I gargled. The mixture hit the raw spots in my throat like acid. I spit it out. Pink. There was blood mixed with the salt water. Again, from the top. 3 hours in, Dad walked past the doorway. He saw me hunched over, crying, Mom standing behind me with her hands on my shoulders. He paused. Our eyes met. I mouthed the word help. He kept walking. 4 hours in, my legs were shaking. I hadn't eaten since breakfast. Hadn't had water because Mom said it would make my voice soggy. Mrs. Patterson just commented, Mom announced to the camera. She says Sarah practiced for 7 hours yesterday. 7 hours. And here you are falling apart after 4. I opened my mouth to sing. Nothing came out. Not even a whisper. Fake it. What? Move your mouth. Pretend you're singing. The show must go on. But there's no sound. Then make it look convincing. This is about dedication, not excuses. Hour 5. I was mouthing words to an empty room while 200 people watched online. Mom had started teaching a masterclass to the viewers about proper posture, using me as her demonstration dummy, pulling my shoulders back, lifting my chin, pressing on my diaphragm. See how she's resisting? This is what we deal with. The talent is there, but the discipline is lacking. Someone in the chat asked if I was okay. Mom deleted the comment. Blocked the user. Hour 6. I couldn't stand anymore. Sat on the floor. Mom grabbed my hair, pulled me back up. We're not done. I can't. You can. You will. Easter is in 19 days. 500 people will be watching. You will not embarrass me. She turned to the camera. Thank you all for joining tonight's intensive session. As you can see, excellence requires sacrifice. Vanessa will be ready for Easter. I guarantee it. She ended the stream. 243 people had watched her torture me for 6 hours. The donation bar showed $300 raised for new sound equipment. Go to bed. We start again tomorrow at 5 a.m. I crawled up the stairs, locked myself in the bathroom, looked in the mirror. My eyes were bloodshot. My neck was swollen. When I opened my mouth, no sound came out at all. The next morning, Mom announced we were starting intensive preparation for Easter. 5 hours every day until the performance, all live streamed. Your dedication will inspire others. She showed me her phone. A donation thermometer graphic filled the screen. The goal said $10,000 for new sound equipment. We were already at $2,000 from last night's torture session. People are investing in your ministry, Vanessa. Don't disappoint them. She'd invited her friend Patricia over. Patricia ran a voice coaching business from her garage. Charged desperate stage moms $200 an hour to teach their kids to belt like Broadway stars. Vanessa's having trouble with stamina, Mom explained. Her voice keeps giving out. Patricia studied me. She's tensing up. Fear response. I have something that helps. She pulled out a bottle from her purse. No label. Clear liquid inside. Throat spray. Numbs the discomfort so she can push through. Is it safe? I asked. Completely natural ingredients. Honey, herbs, a little menthol. Mom grabbed the bottle. Perfect. How much? For you, Evelyn? Free. We support each other. I watched them in the kitchen. Patricia poured the clear liquid into Mom's regular throat spray bottles. Added something from a second unmarked container. The mixture turned slightly cloudy. 2 sprays every hour during practice, Patricia instructed. 3 if she's struggling. What's in it exactly? I tried again. Patricia smiled. Trade secret. This kept my daughter going through regionals last year. She sang for 8 hours straight, won first place. Where's your daughter now? I asked. Patricia's smile flickered. Taking a break from performing. Vocal rest. Mom wasn't listening. She was already shaking the bottle, mixing whatever they'd put in there. Open your mouth. Mom, I don't think, open. She sprayed. The liquid hit the back of my throat. Instant numbness, like the dentist had injected Novocaine directly into my vocal cords. How does it feel? I tried to answer. My voice came out strange, disconnected, like it wasn't coming from my body. Perfect, Mom said. Now you can practice without your weakness getting in the way. Patricia gathered her things. At the door, I heard her whisper to Mom. Don't use more than 6 doses a day, and stop a few days before the performance so her system clears. Why? The withdrawal makes them emotional. You want her focused for Easter, not sobbing. Mom nodded. Closed the door. Turned to me with the bottle. Let's test this properly. 5-hour session starts now. Within an hour, I couldn't feel my throat at all. I could sing and sing and sing without feeling the damage happening. Mom was thrilled. The viewers were amazed at my sudden improvement, but I knew something was very wrong. When I went to the bathroom during a break, I coughed into my hand. Blood. More than yesterday. Darker. Whatever was in that spray wasn't just numbing pain. It was masking serious damage, and I had no way to prove what they were doing to me. 3 days later, Alex slipped me a burner phone during youth group while Mom was in her prayer meeting. I started documenting everything. Every bloody tissue got photographed with the date and time written on it in Sharpie. Every bruise got measured and recorded. Every practice session got secretly filmed from the phone propped behind my music stand. The evidence was damning. Tuesday, 8:47 p.m. Mom thought the live stream had ended, but the phone was still recording. She was talking to Patricia on speaker while I sat on the floor, unable to speak from the throat spray wearing off. I don't care if she never sings again after this competition. Mom's voice was casual, like she was discussing the weather. Once we win, the opportunities will come. Speaking engagements about raising talented children, book deals about Christian parenting. She's just the launching pad. Patricia laughed. Smart. My daughter got me 3 years of paid workshops before her voice gave out completely. The recording contract will be in my name anyway. She's a minor. I can hire session singers for the actual album. Nobody will know the difference. I filmed it all. My hands shaking, my throat burning. Wednesday afternoon, I screenshot the PayPal account while Mom was in the shower. $8,000 collected in the past 3 months. The donations had exploded since she started showing my deterioration online. People paid more to watch someone suffer than succeed. My college fund still had $500, the same $500 from when I was 10. I found receipts in her purse. Louis Vuitton bag, $1,200. Day spa package, $800. New iPhone, $1,000. All dated within the last month. All paid from the PayPal account labeled Vanessa's Music Ministry. Thursday. I recorded Mom mixing the throat spray. She didn't know I'd positioned the phone behind the cereal box. Clear liquid from Patricia's unlabeled bottle. White powder from a prescription bottle with Patricia's daughter's name on it. The label was partially torn, but I could make out codone at the end. They were drugging me with prescription painkillers. I took photos of the bottles when Mom went upstairs. Saved everything to the cloud account Alex had set up. Backed it up to 3 different services. If something happened to me, the evidence would survive. Friday morning, Mom was on the phone with the competition organizers. I recorded from the hallway. Yes, she'll definitely be ready. No, the hoarseness is just nerves. Of course she'll hit all the notes. I guarantee it. She hung up, called someone else. Dr. Morrison? It's Evelyn Chen. I need that prescription we discussed. The strong one. Yes, I understand the risks. Just enough to get through Easter Sunday. More drugs, stronger drugs, whatever it took to make me perform. I texted Alex from the burner phone. How much evidence do we need? Keep going. Document everything. We need enough that she can't deny it. Saturday. I found Mom's notebook where she tracked my progress. Each practice session had notes. Resistance level, 7 out of 10. Compliance achieved after physical correction. Spray administered 8 times. Bleeding minimal. She was documenting my torture like a science experiment. I photographed every page. 63 pages of detailed abuse records, her own handwriting, her own admission of what she was doing to me. The burner phone was almost full. Hundreds of photos, hours of video, screenshot after screenshot of financial fraud. But I needed more. I needed something so undeniable that nobody could look away, nobody could make excuses. Easter was 8 days away. I had 8 days to gather enough evidence to save my life. Sunday morning, Alex picked me up while Mom was teaching Sunday school. We drove 2 towns over to a walk-in clinic, the kind that didn't ask too many questions if you paid cash. I told them I was 18, used my babysitting money from last summer, $40 just for the consultation. The doctor was young, maybe 30. She looked at my throat with a scope and her face went pale. How long have you been singing like this? 3 years intensively, 6 to 8 hours a day recently. She pulled up the ultrasound images on her screen, turned the monitor so I could see. You have severe vocal nodules, these growths on your vocal cords. See these white masses? I saw them. They looked like tumors. If you keep this up, the damage will be permanent. You're maybe 2 weeks away from needing surgery. Even then, you might never recover full function. Can you document everything? I need to call your parents. I'm 18. I showed her the fake ID Alex had helped me get. Please, just document it. She stared at me, saw something in my face. Who's doing this to you? My mother. She live streams it, makes money off watching me suffer. Please, I just need medical proof. The doctor stood up, left the room. I thought she was calling the cops, but she came back with another doctor, older, male. Show him, she said. He examined my throat, took more images, made notes. This is abuse, he said quietly. We need to report this. I'm handling it. I have people helping me. I just need documentation, please. They exchanged looks. The female doctor started typing. I'm writing everything down. Every bit of damage, every medical term, making it so clear that nobody can deny what's been done to you. She printed out 10 pages. Medical terminology I didn't understand. Diagrams of my throat, measurements of the nodules, risk assessments, prognosis without immediate rest. This says I need 6 months of complete vocal rest minimum, I read. That's if you stop today. Every day you continue decreases your chances of recovery. The male doctor handed me a card. This is my direct line. When you're ready to report this, call me, I'll testify. Easter is in 7 days, I have to perform. You won't make it through the performance. Your throat will close. You could suffocate on stage. That's what she wants. The ultimate sacrifice for God. The perfect testimony. They both stared at me. She's that far gone? The woman asked. She gave me prescription painkillers mixed with God knows what else. Makes me practice until I cough blood, then live streams it to 800 people who pay to watch. The male doctor picked up his phone. I'm calling. No, please. If you call now, she'll know I was here. She'll destroy everything. Lock me away. Make me disappear. I need 1 more week to gather enough evidence that she can't wiggle out of. You might not survive another week. I might not survive if I don't get proof. They gave me prescription throat lozenges, real ones, antibiotics for the infection they found, steroids to reduce swelling. Hide these. Take them when she's not looking. They might buy you time. The woman doctor held my hand at the door. That card has my personal cell on the back. If you're in immediate danger, text me. I'll come get you myself. We left with a folder full of documentation. Alex hid it under his spare tire. This is enough to arrest her, he said. Not yet. The church still thinks she's a saint. Dad still thinks she's just strict. I need something so undeniable that even her prayer group can't explain it away. Monday after the clinic visit, I cornered Sarah Patterson in the church bathroom during youth group. I need to talk to you about singing. She went white, started to leave. I know you're lip syncing. She froze, turned around. Her perfect church girl mask cracked. How? Your mouth doesn't match the words sometimes. And your breathing is all wrong for someone supposedly hitting those notes. She locked the bathroom door, pulled out her phone, showed me a video from last year's regional competition. Her on stage, mouth open, no sound coming out while the backing track played. My voice died completely 14 months ago. Mom pre-records everything now. I mouth along. Your mom knows? She's the one recording me at 3 a.m. when my voice sometimes works for 5 minutes. Then she edits it, makes it perfect. I perform to my own ghost. She pulled down the collar of her sweater. A scar ran across her throat. Surgery. Didn't work. Doctor said I'll never sing professionally. Mom told everyone it was my tonsils. Why don't you just refuse? Same reason you don't. She's my mother. The church thinks we're blessed. Who'd believe us? She showed me photos on her phone, medical records, x-rays of her throat, prescriptions for painkillers, steroids, anxiety medication. I was 16 when the damage became permanent. Your mom and mine have been competing through us for 3 years. They compare notes, share techniques. There are others? Sarah nodded. Emma Rodriguez, you remember her? Soprano soloist 2 years ago. She disappeared. Mom said her family moved. They moved because Emma can only whisper now. Her mom pushed her through pneumonia, made her sing with 103 fever, vocal cords got infected, permanent scarring. Sarah texted someone. 5 minutes later, Emma walked in. I hadn't recognized her in the hallway earlier. She looked different, defeated. Emma tried to speak. Only air came out. She typed on her phone, showed me the screen. Tried to report it. Church board said I was being dramatic. Pastor said honoring parents was more important than comfort. My mom donated $50,000 to the building fund last year. Case closed. How many others? I typed back. Emma held up 3 fingers, then typed more. Michael Kim, tenor, nodes removed at 15, can't sing anymore. Jacob Martinez, forced to perform through strep throat 6 times. Antibiotic-resistant infection nearly killed him. Trinity Washington. Her mom made her take testosterone blockers to keep her voice high. Hormonal damage. Sarah grabbed my arm. Your mom learned from mine. My mom learned from Patricia's. It's a system. They share methods in their prayer group. Call it Cultivating Excellence for Christ. Emma typed frantically. Patricia's daughter Melissa is in a psychiatric facility. Complete breakdown after losing her voice. Tried to kill herself. Patricia tells everyone she's at a performing arts boarding school. I showed them my throat spray bottle. Sarah's eyes went wide. Melissa was on that stuff. It has codeine, sometimes stronger things. Patricia has a friend who's a vet, gets animal tranquilizers. Animal tranquilizers? Emma nodded, typed. For the really important performances. Numbs everything. You could sing while your throat tears itself apart and never feel it. Sarah pulled up her mom's text messages. Look, they have a group chat. I read the messages, our mothers discussing dosages, comparing practice schedules, sharing videos of us crying, congratulating each other on our dedication. One message from my mom made me sick. Vanessa's almost broken. Easter will be glorious. Already planning her testimony tour after she collapses. Emma typed one more thing. She wants you to lose your voice publicly. The dramatic testimony. The sacrifice. It'll make her famous in the church circuit. Speaking engagements about faithful motherhood through trials. Sarah squeezed my hand. We'll help you. All of us. We've been waiting for someone brave enough to fight back. What if I'm not brave? What if I'm just desperate? Emma smiled sadly and mouthed the words. Same thing. Tuesday afternoon, I was texting Alex from the burner phone when Mom walked into my room without knocking. Who are you texting? She grabbed the phone before I could hide it. My heart stopped. The preview notification showed Alex's last message. The evidence is safe. What evidence, Vanessa? My brain scrambled for a lie. Something believable. Something she'd want to hear. Evidence that Sarah Patterson is lip-syncing for the competition. Her whole face changed. The suspicion melted into hunger. Sarah's cheating? I recorded her at practice yesterday. Her mouth doesn't match the words. She's using a backing track. Mom sat on my bed, grabbed my shoulders. Tell me everything. I saw her in the bathroom. She was listening to a recording on her phone. Her own voice from last year before it gave out. She practices mouthing along perfectly. You have proof? Video. From youth group. You can see her mouth moving wrong during the worship set. Mom's eyes lit up like Christmas morning. This was better than winning. This was destroying the competition through scandal. Show me. It's on Alex's phone. He helped me record it. He's keeping it safe so Sarah's mom doesn't find out and make us delete it. She bought it, completely, because it was something she would do. Smart. We'll expose her after Easter, after you win legitimately. The contrast will be beautiful. You suffering for real while she fakes everything. She handed back the phone. Delete these messages. We can't leave a trail. I deleted them while she watched. Is there anything else you're not telling me? No, Mom. She stood up, walked to my dresser, started opening drawers, searching through my clothes, looking for more phones, more secrets. What are you doing? Making sure you're focused. Easter is in 6 days. I can't have distractions. She found my journal, flipped through it. I'd been smart enough to write everything in Spanish, which she couldn't read. What is this? Practice notes. Senora Martinez says writing in Spanish helps me retain it. She found the throat lozenges from the clinic hidden in my sock drawer. My blood went cold. What are these? Cough drops. From the nurse's office last month before you pulled me out of school. She opened the package, smelled them, tossed them in the trash. You don't need those. You have the spray. She kept searching, under my mattress, behind my mirror, in my closet, looking for evidence of betrayal. Finally, she stopped, turned to me with that smile that meant something terrible was coming. Pack your things. What? We're staying at the church for the rest of the week. Full immersion preparation, no distractions, no phones except for streaming. No contact with anyone who might weaken your resolve. Mom, please. This is not a discussion. Easter is in 6 days. 500 people will be watching. The regional scouts will be there. Everything we've worked for comes down to this week. She walked to the door. You have 1 hour to pack. Bring your performance dress and your practice clothes. Nothing else. What about Dad? He supports this completely. He'll visit to pray with us. She left. I texted Alex immediately. She's taking me to the church for the whole week. I won't be able to get more evidence. We have enough. Should we call someone now? I thought about the medical records hidden in his car, the videos on the cloud. Sarah and Emma ready to testify. Not yet. If I disappear before Easter, nobody will ask questions. If I collapse during the performance in front of 500 witnesses, she can't hide it. You might not survive that long. I looked at the trash can where she'd thrown the real medicine that might help me. I might not survive either way. That hour became the beginning of my imprisonment. Mom brought 2 air mattresses down to the church basement, set them up in the corner where the old hymnals were stored. The room smelled like mold and desperation. No distractions. Just you, me, and God's music. The first day was Monday, 8 hours of practice starting at 6 in the morning, the throat spray every hour, sometimes every 30 minutes when my voice cracked. By noon, the room started tilting. The walls breathed. Mom's face would stretch and contract while she yelled instructions. You're not focusing, Vanessa. Again. I'd sing, or try to. The spray made everything numb, but also made me see things. Mom's mouth moving, but the words coming seconds later. The piano keys melting. Shadows in the corners that weren't there before. The church ladies brought meals 3 times a day. They'd stand in the doorway watching me practice, praising Mom's dedication. Such commitment, Evelyn. You're an inspiration. We do what we must for God's glory, Mom would say, spraying more chemicals down my throat. Tuesday, day 2. My voice was completely gone by lunch. Not weak, not hoarse, gone. I opened my mouth and nothing came out but air. Mom didn't care. Keep going. Muscle memory, Vanessa. Your body knows the notes even if your voice doesn't cooperate. So I stood there mouthing words to hymns while she played piano. 8 hours of silent singing. The livestream viewers couldn't tell I wasn't making sound because Mom played the backing track loud enough to cover it. See how dedicated she is? Mom told the camera. Even when her voice needs rest, she practices the performance. The comments flooded in, people calling me an inspiration, donations hitting $500 that day alone. Wednesday, day 3. The hallucinations got worse. I'd see Mom, but she'd have too many eyes, or her hands would be covered in blood. Sometimes I'd blink and she'd be standing right in front of me when she'd been across the room a second before. The spray was up to every 20 minutes now. She'd set a timer. When it went off, she'd grab my face, force my mouth open, spray until I gagged. This is medicine. This is healing. Stop fighting me. I tried to refuse once. She held my nose until I had to open my mouth to breathe. Then she sprayed so much I thought I'd drown. Pastor Williams visited Wednesday afternoon, saw me swaying on my feet, unable to speak, tears streaming down my face. Is she all right, Evelyn? Pre-performance nerves. You know how sensitive artists can be. He watched me mouth words to Amazing Grace. No sound, just my lips moving while Mom played. Perhaps she needs rest. Rest is for after Easter. We're so close to perfection. He left, another adult who saw but didn't see. Thursday morning, I woke up on the bathroom floor. I'd passed out trying to get water in the middle of the night. Mom found me there at 4:30. Get up. We're starting early today. She doubled the spray dose. The room turned into a carousel, everything spinning. I couldn't tell if I was standing or lying down. Your voice will return when it matters, she kept saying. Faith moves mountains. Faith restores voices. All you need is faith. But faith couldn't fix destroyed vocal cords. Faith couldn't heal what she'd poisoned. Faith was just another weapon she used to justify torture. By Thursday night, I couldn't eat solid food. My throat was too swollen. Mom made protein shakes with more powder mixed in, more drugs, more control. 3 more days. Easter is in 3 days. 500 people, Vanessa. The regional scouts. Your testimony. Our triumph. 3 more days. I didn't think I'd survive one. Friday morning, I couldn't stop coughing blood. Not drops, not specks, mouthfuls. I hunched over the basement sink, spitting red, while Mom timed me between verses. 4 minutes of coughing, then back to silent practice. You're being dramatic, she said. It's just irritation from the dry air. I grabbed paper towels to clean my mouth, stuffed the bloody ones in my tampon box when she wasn't looking. By noon, the box was full. I started using an old shoe box I found behind the furnace. The throat spray was every 15 minutes now. Mom had a whole case of bottles from Patricia. She'd line them up each morning like soldiers. This is medicine. This is healing you. But I could feel my throat closing more with each dose, like someone was tightening a rope around my neck from the inside. I couldn't eat anymore. Thursday night, she tried to force soup down my throat. I threw it up immediately. Blood mixed with chicken noodle all over the basement floor. Fine. Protein shakes only. She mixed powder into the shakes, white powder from unmarked containers. More pills crushed up. The shakes tasted like metal and made my heart race. Sometimes I'd drink one and the room would tilt so hard I'd fall over. Stand up. We're not done. Friday afternoon, Dad came to visit. I hadn't seen him in 4 days. He stood in the doorway staring at me. I'd lost 8 pounds. My neck was swollen like I had mumps. My eyes were so bloodshot they looked completely red. Evelyn, she looks sick. Stage fright, she always gets this way before big performances. He walked closer, saw the bloodstains on my practice shirt that Mom hadn't noticed, saw my hands shaking so hard I couldn't hold the sheet music. Maybe we should postpone. Absolutely not. 500 people are coming. The scouts will be there. We've advertised this for weeks. He pulled out his wallet, left $50 on the piano. For treats. Whatever she needs. Then he left. Just walked out while I stood there, unable to even whisper the word, help. I tried one more time that night. While Mom was in the bathroom, I wrote HELP on the mirror with my finger in the condensation from my breath. The janitor came through 20 minutes later, wiped it clean without even looking. Saturday, the live stream hit 400 regular viewers. Mom had started charging $10 for premium access to the final practice sessions. People paid to watch me deteriorate in real time. The comments were getting worried. She looks really unwell. Is she okay? Should someone call a doctor? Mom would read them out loud and respond directly to the camera. Vanessa is dedicating her suffering to Christ. Just as Jesus suffered on the cross, she suffers for her art. This is what true dedication looks like. Someone wrote, "This seems like abuse." Mom blocked them immediately. Then spent 5 minutes explaining to the remaining viewers about spiritual warfare and how Satan uses doubt to weaken faith. The devil wants her to quit right before her triumph. We won't let him win. By Saturday night, I was hallucinating constantly. Mom's face would melt and reform. The walls breathed. Sometimes I'd see other people in the room who weren't there. Emma, with her destroyed voice. Sarah mouthing words to silent songs. Patricia's daughter, Melissa, reaching out with bleeding hands. I tried to text Alex from Mom's phone while she was talking to Pastor Williams upstairs. My fingers were shaking too hard. The message came out as gibberish. Mom found me with the phone. Who are you texting? I couldn't answer. My voice was gone. Not weak. Gone. She saw the jumbled message, thought I was having a breakdown. Pastor Williams, she called. Come pray over her. The devil is trying to possess her. They prayed over me for an hour, hands on my head, speaking in tongues, casting out demons that didn't exist while ignoring the real poison in my system. Easter was tomorrow. The performance was in 18 hours. I was dying. I knew I was dying, and Mom was live streaming it as testimony. Saturday night after the prayer session ended, I found a note tucked inside my pillowcase. Thursday night, emergency plan ready. Alex had been here. While Mom and Pastor Williams were casting out imaginary demons, he'd slipped into the basement. My hands shook as I read the rest. Check under the old communion table. I waited until Mom was snoring on her air mattress, crawled across the floor, found a small package wrapped in brown paper. Inside were real throat lozenges, the prescription ones from the clinic, and another note. I've recorded everything. Have video of your mom mixing pills into the spray. She doesn't know the church security system backs up to my personal drive. There was more. A tiny USB drive taped to the bottom of the package. 47 practice sessions, 12 private conversations, financial records Patricia's husband sent me. He's divorcing her and wants to expose what she did to Melissa. I put a lozenge in my mouth. The relief was instant. Not complete healing, but the first real medicine I'd had in days. Sunday morning, Easter. I woke to voices in the hallway. That child needs a hospital, Evelyn. Margaret Williams, the pastor's wife, former trauma nurse. She'd been watching all week. She's fine, just nervous. I've seen nervous. This is medical distress. Her lips are blue. It's the basement lighting. I'm a nurse. I know cyanosis when I see it. Mom's voice got sharp. You're retired. And this is my daughter. Who can't speak? Who's coughing blood? Who can barely stand? She's fasting. For spiritual preparation, Margaret came into the basement, walked straight to me, put her fingers on my neck, checking my pulse. Racing. Over 120 at rest. She looked in my eyes. Dilated pupils. What are you giving her? Throat spray, for her voice. Show me the bottle. Mom held it up. Margaret took it, sniffed it. This isn't just throat spray. What's in it? Natural ingredients. Patricia made it. Margaret's face went hard. Patricia, whose daughter is in a psychiatric facility? Melissa is at performing arts school. Melissa tried to kill herself 6 months ago. I was the one who did CPR until the ambulance arrived. Mom went quiet. Margaret pulled something from her pocket. Real throat lozenges, the same kind Alex had left me. Vanessa, take these. Mom tried to grab them. She doesn't need. Back off, Evelyn. Margaret's voice could have cut steel. Or I call 911 right now and report medical neglect. She handed me the lozenges, watched me take one. I'll be watching during the performance. If she collapses, I'm intervening. No arguments. She left. Mom stared at me. You told her something. I shook my head. Couldn't speak even if I wanted to. Doesn't matter. After today, after your triumph, nobody will question our methods. She went upstairs to get ready. I checked under the communion table again. A new note from Alex. Margaret knows everything. She's been documenting too. Her husband doesn't know yet, but she's ready to act. Sarah and Emma are in the congregation. They'll be recording. Local news is here for the Easter service. Whatever happens, it will be public. I put another lozenge in my mouth, felt my throat open just slightly. Not enough to sing, not enough to speak, but enough to breathe a little easier. 3 hours until the performance. 3 hours until 500 people would watch me die or watch me expose the truth. Mom came back in her Easter dress, white and gold, looking like an angel while destroying her daughter. Time to get ready. Your dress is hanging in the bathroom. The white dress I'd been supposed to wear. Now splattered with blood stains she hadn't noticed. Perfect evidence. 2 hours and 45 minutes. The cavalry was in place. The evidence was ready. The witnesses were gathering. All I had to do was survive long enough to destroy her. 2 hours later, Mom announced a full dress rehearsal. Good Friday. The church was half full. 200 people settling into pews for the afternoon service. Mom told Pastor Williams we needed to practice with an audience. I stood on the platform in my blood-stained white dress. Mom hadn't noticed the red spots. Or maybe she had and didn't care. The microphone felt like it weighed 100 pounds. Mom sat at the piano, started playing. I opened my mouth. Nothing. Not even air. My throat had completely closed. She kept playing, louder, her eyes drilling into me. I mouthed the words. The congregation watched, confused. Some started whispering. She's not making any sound. Is the microphone broken? I swayed, grabbed the mic stand to stay upright. The room tilted hard. I saw Alex in the back row, phone out, recording. Sarah and Emma near the front, tears in their eyes. Then my legs gave out. I hit the platform hard. The microphone shrieked with feedback. 200 people gasped. Some stood up. Margaret started moving toward the stage. Mom was there in seconds, pulling me up by my arms. The devil is testing us, her voice echoed through the sanctuary. Satan wants to stop her testimony. Pray harder. She turned to the congregation. Everyone pray for Vanessa. Pray against the spiritual attack. They started praying, out loud, hands raised, speaking in tongues. While I lay there gasping like a fish out of water, Mom pulled me to my feet, held me up like a puppet. See, God is healing her. The enemy won't win. Pastor Williams came to the microphone. What a testimony for Easter Sunday. Tomorrow we'll witness complete healing, complete victory. The congregation erupted in amens and hallelujahs. Mom's face glowed with triumph. She'd turned my collapse into a spiritual battle, made herself the hero fighting for her daughter's soul. Margaret reached the platform, checked my pulse again, looked at my blue lips, my unfocused eyes. She needs a hospital. Now. She needs faith, Mom countered. We're so close to breakthrough. Breakthrough or breakdown? Margaret's voice was ice. Mom ignored her, addressed the crowd instead. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., you'll witness God's miracle. Vanessa will sing. The regional scouts will see God's glory. This is our testimony. People applauded. Actually applauded while I stood there dying. Mom helped me off the platform. Back to the basement. Margaret followed. I'm calling an ambulance. You're destroying her faith. Her faith or your reputation. Mom's mask slipped for just a second. Pure rage flashed across her face. Then the church lady smile returned. Tomorrow is Easter, the day of resurrection. Vanessa will rise and sing. You'll see. Margaret left, but not before pressing something into my hand. Her phone. Already dialing 911. All I had to do was hit call. Mom didn't see. She was too busy texting the prayer group, updating her livestream followers, building the hype for tomorrow's performance. 500 people would come expecting a miracle. The scouts would be there, the news crew. Everyone waiting to see if I'd sing or if I'd die trying. I looked at the phone in my hand, then at Mom, lost in her delusions of grandeur. Tomorrow, Easter Sunday, in less than 18 hours. I knew then that I wouldn't survive Easter if I didn't act now. Easter morning, I didn't sleep at all because I knew what was coming. 6 in the morning, Mom woke me with the throat spray bottle in her hand. Double dose. She grabbed my jaw, forced my mouth open, and sprayed until I gagged. The chemicals hit my raw throat like acid. I turned to the trash can and vomited. Blood. So much blood, it looked like I'd been stabbed. Mom stared at the red mess for exactly 3 seconds. Then she grabbed paper towels. Pre-performance nerves. Completely normal. She cleaned it up like it was spilled juice, like her daughter wasn't dying in front of her. By 8:30, the church was packed. 500 people. Standing room only. The local news crew set up cameras in the back. Channel 4 wanted a feel-good Easter story about a devoted teen singing through illness. Mom gave an interview in the lobby while I sat in the bathroom trying not to pass out. We've sacrificed everything for this moment, she told the reporter. Vanessa's dedication to God is absolute. She'll sing today no matter what, even though she's sick. Especially because she's sick. That's when faith matters most. The bathroom door opened. Alex slipped inside. He pressed his phone into my hand. When you get on stage, hit record. It's set to stream directly to my backup account. Whatever happens, everyone will see it live. I nodded. Couldn't speak. My throat was completely closed now. Sarah and Emma are in the 3rd row. Margaret is by the emergency exit with her medical bag. The evidence is uploaded to 12 different servers. We're ready. The door opened again. Margaret walked in, took one look at me, and went pale. You're cyanotic. Your lips are blue. You need oxygen. She cornered Mom in the hallway. I could hear them through the door. That child needs a hospital immediately. She needs to fulfill her commitment to God first. She's dying, Evelyn. She's being tested. After she sings, after she gives her testimony, then we can discuss medical attention. I'm calling an ambulance, and I'll tell them she's fine. That you're overreacting. Who will they believe, the mother or the pastor's hysterical wife? Silence. Then Margaret's voice, cold as winter. If she dies on that stage, I'll make sure everyone knows you killed her. She won't die. God won't let her. This is our moment of triumph. 9:45. Mom pulled me to the sanctuary side door. My white dress was freshly stained with blood from this morning's vomiting. She either didn't notice or didn't care. The congregation was singing opening hymns, 500 voices praising God while I stood there unable to make a sound. Pastor Williams saw us, smiled, announced to the crowd that after the opening prayer they'd witness something special, a testimony of faith overcoming affliction. Mom squeezed my arm so hard I knew it would bruise, if I lived long enough to bruise. Remember, Vanessa? This is for God's glory. Don't you dare embarrass me. The opening prayer started. I pressed record on Alex's phone. The stream went live. Whatever happened next, the whole world would see it. Amen. Pastor Williams finished the prayer. I walked onto the stage, 500 faces staring at me, the news camera's red light blinking, Mom in the front row with her phone up, already filming, always filming. The microphone felt cold in my shaking hand. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out, not a whisper, not a breath. My throat was completely sealed. The pianist started playing the intro to Amazing Grace. I stood there frozen. The congregation shifted uncomfortably. Some people started whispering. I raised my hand toward the sound booth. Alex understood. The backing track started playing, a recording of me from last year when I could still sing. I moved my lips for 2 lines. Then I stopped. I grabbed the microphone with both hands. I need help. My voice came out as a rasp, barely audible, but the microphone amplified it enough for everyone to hear. I need help, I said again. Then the coughing started, deep, violent coughs that bent me in half. I covered my mouth with my hand. When I pulled it away, it was covered in blood, dark red blood that dripped onto my white Easter dress. The congregation gasped. Someone screamed. A child started crying. Mom rushed the stage. She's being tested by Satan. This is spiritual warfare. But I wasn't done. I grabbed her phone from her hand. She tried to snatch it back, but I held it high, turned the screen toward the crowd. She's been live streaming abuse for money. My voice was barely there, but the microphone caught every word. 800 people pay to watch her hurt me. I fumbled with her phone, found the PayPal app, held it up to the news camera. $12,000. That's how much she's collected from watching me suffer. The account was right there. Vanessa's music ministry. Balance, $12,847. Mom lunged for the phone. She's delirious. The devil has her. But people were already pulling out their own phones, looking up the Facebook group, finding the live streams, watching the archived videos of her hitting me, screaming at me, forcing spray down my throat while I cried. I started coughing again. This time I couldn't stop. Blood sprayed across the white platform. My legs gave out. I hit the floor hard. Margaret was there in seconds. Call 911 now. This child is hemorrhaging. Mom tried to pull me up. She just needs prayer. Everyone pray. Get away from her. Margaret shoved Mom back. Actually shoved her. Someone call an ambulance. 3 people were already on their phones. The news camera was catching everything. Mom standing there insisting I was fine while blood pooled around me on the Easter platform. Sarah stood up in the 3rd row. She did the same thing to me. Her voice carried across the sanctuary. My voice is gone because of our mothers. Emma stood next, held up a whiteboard with words written in marker. I can only whisper now. They destroyed us for their glory. More parents started standing, looking at their own children in the choir, realizing what they'd been watching. what they'd been supporting with their donations. The congregation erupted, people shouting, arguing. The news reporter talking rapidly into her microphone about breaking news at First Baptist. Mom kept trying to get to me, but Margaret and 2 other nurses formed a wall. "You've done enough damage." I lay there on the platform, blood spreading across the white stage, while 500 people finally saw the truth. The live stream from Alex's phone was still running, thousands of viewers watching in real time as my mother's empire of abuse crumbled on Easter Sunday. The sirens were getting closer. I could hear them through the chaos. Help was coming. Real help. Mom stood in the middle of it all, still insisting this was a test from God, still trying to spin my dying as testimony. But nobody was listening anymore. The paramedics burst through the sanctuary doors while Mom was still insisting this was all part of God's plan. "Step back, ma'am." The lead EMT was a woman, late 30s, all business. She knelt beside me, checked my pulse. Weak and rapid. She needs oxygen now. They put the mask over my face. Cool air flooded my lungs. I hadn't realized how little I'd been breathing. Mom pushed forward. "She's just being dramatic." This happens before big performances. The EMT looked at the blood on the stage, at my blue lips, at my swollen throat. "This child is in respiratory distress." Pastor Williams finally stepped in. "Let them work, Evelyn. She's fine. She just needs prayer." The second paramedic was examining my throat with a light. "Severe swelling. Possible vocal cord hemorrhage. We need to intubate. Her airway's closing." "Don't be so dramatic with treatment." Mom's voice was sharp. "Just give her some water and, ma'am, your daughter could die." The EMT's voice cut through Mom's protests. "Her oxygen levels are critical." That's when the police arrived. 2 officers. Someone in the congregation had called about child abuse. The sanctuary went quiet except for the news camera still rolling. Alex walked straight to the officers, held out his phone. "I have 47 recorded practice sessions showing abuse. Financial records proving fraud. Everything's here." The younger officer started watching. His face went pale within 30 seconds. He showed his partner. They both looked at Mom. Mom saw them watching the videos. Her face changed. The mask slipped completely. Pure panic replaced the righteous anger. "Those are edited. He's lying. This is religious persecution." The sanctuary doors burst open again. Dad ran in. He must have been parking when the ambulance arrived. He saw me on the stretcher, saw the blood, saw the paramedics preparing intubation equipment. Something in him finally broke. "What have you done?" His voice was barely a whisper. Then louder. "What have you done to our daughter?" "David, she's being tested. Stop." He walked closer, saw my blue lips, my unfocused eyes, the blood on my dress. "Just stop. No more lies, no more excuses." The paramedics were ready to move. "We need to go now." Mom tried to follow. The police stepped in front of her. "Ma'am, we need you to stay here. We have questions." "That's my daughter. I'm going with her." "No." Dad's voice was firm. "You're not going anywhere near her." The female officer was still watching the videos. "Is this you hitting her? Making her practice while coughing blood? I want my lawyer. You'll need one." The officer looked at the crowd. "I'll need witness statements. Anyone who's watched these live streams, anyone who donated money." People started coming forward. Parents who'd paid to watch, church members who'd praised Mom's dedication while ignoring my suffering. The paramedics lifted my stretcher. As they wheeled me out, I saw Margaret following with her medical bag. She'd document everything at the hospital, make sure the evidence was preserved. I saw Sarah and Emma standing together, both crying. They'd finally spoken up. We all had. I saw the news reporter talking rapidly into her camera about breaking news, child abuse, and fraud at a prominent church. And I saw Mom surrounded by police, still insisting she was being persecuted for her faith while 500 witnesses watched her empire of abuse crumble. The ambulance doors closed. The EMT leaned over me. "You're safe now. We're taking you to the hospital. You're going to be okay." I couldn't speak, couldn't even nod. But for the first time in years, I believed someone might actually be telling me the truth. The ambulance ride was a blur of oxygen masks and urgent voices. At the hospital, they rushed me straight to trauma. The lead doctor took one look at my throat and called for backup. Severe laryngeal hemorrhage, bilateral vocal fold nodules. This child's been systematically tortured. They couldn't intubate yet. The swelling was too severe. They gave me IV steroids, antibiotics, painkillers that actually worked. For the first time in weeks, the burning in my throat eased. A detective arrived within an hour. Officer Chen, mid-40s, kind eyes. She handed me a notepad since I couldn't speak. "Take your time. Write everything." I wrote for 40 minutes. Every practice, every slap, every forced spray, the money, the live streams, the drugs Patricia provided. I showed her the USB drive Alex had given me. She plugged it into her laptop, watched 30 seconds of video before stopping. "This is enough for multiple felony charges." The emergency room started filling with other parents. Emma's family arrived first. Her mother was sobbing. "We tried to report it 2 years ago. The church said we were lying." Michael Kim's parents came next. Then Jacob Martinez's family, Trinity Washington's mother. All of them with medical records, all of them with stories the church had buried. Officer Chen took statements from everyone. The pattern was clear. Systematic abuse disguised as religious devotion. My phone buzzed. A text from Alex. "Church board emergency meeting happening now. Live streaming on Facebook." I showed Officer Chen. She pulled it up on her laptop. Pastor Williams was at the podium looking shell-shocked. "We need to address what happened this morning." Board members were arguing, some defending Mom, others demanding answers about the money. The live stream comments were brutal. Former congregation members sharing their own stories, parents realizing what they'd ignored. Then Mom appeared on screen, still at the church, still in her blood-stained Easter dress. "This is religious persecution." Her voice was shrill. "They're attacking us for our faith, for pushing our children toward excellence." "Evelyn, your daughter almost died," Pastor Williams said quietly. "She's being dramatic." She's always been weak. That's when Dad stood up. I hadn't seen him in the crowd. No, Evelyn. His voice was steady, clear. This isn't religious persecution. This is child abuse. You abused our daughter. You tortured her. You nearly killed her for money and fame. David, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. I watched it happen. I made excuses. I hid in my study while you destroyed her voice. I'm as guilty as you are. But I'm done hiding. He turned to the board. I'm filing for divorce, for emergency custody, and I'm cooperating fully with the police investigation. Mom's face went white. You can't do this. It's already done. The live stream ended. Officer Chen closed her laptop. Your father just made my job easier. She looked at me. You're brave. What you did today saved other kids. The doctor came back with test results. The good news is the hemorrhaging has stopped. The bad news is the damage is extensive. Multiple surgeries will be needed. Recovery will take months, maybe years. I wrote on the notepad. Will I sing again? She hesitated. I don't know, but you'll speak again. You'll tell your story. That matters more. I wrote one more thing. Is it over? Officer Chen shook her head. The truth is finally out, but the real fight is just beginning. Trials, testimony, recovery. But you won't fight alone, not anymore. The real fight started the day after Easter. Detective Chen called Tuesday morning while I was still in the hospital. We've executed search warrants on your mother's home and the church. What we found is worse than we thought. She came to my room with boxes of evidence, bank statements, spreadsheets. Mom had been running a whole operation. She kept 80% of all donations meant for the church music program. Over $60,000 in 3 years. That's grand theft. But that wasn't the worst part. Patricia Hernandez was arrested this morning. We found prescription bottles in her home. Oxycodone, tramadol, ketamine from her veterinarian friend. She's been drugging multiple children for years. 3 more families came forward that week. The Nguyen family. Their son had permanent hearing damage from being forced to play drums with double ear infections. The Johnsons. Their daughter developed anxiety so severe she couldn't leave the house. The Washingtons. Their son attempted suicide after losing his voice at 15. The local news picked up the story Wednesday. Stage mom or monster? Church abuse ring exposed. They played the video of mom being arrested. She was screaming about religious persecution while officers led her to the patrol car. This is Satan's work. They're attacking God's servants. The clip went viral, 3 million views in 2 days. Comments flooded in from around the world. Other kids sharing their stories. Other churches realizing they had the same problem. Thursday, the church board held an emergency public meeting. I watched the live stream from my hospital bed. Evelyn Chen is permanently banned from all church properties and activities, Pastor Williams announced. We failed these children. We saw the signs and looked away. The vote was unanimous. Even Mom's prayer group friends voted against her. Some board members resigned immediately. Mrs. Patterson stood up crying. I promoted this. I praised her dedication. I told other parents to be more like Evelyn. I'm so sorry. Friday morning, Dad came to the hospital with legal papers. I filed for emergency custody yesterday. The divorce papers were filed this morning. He sat on my bed, took my hand. I failed you, Vanessa. I hid behind Bible verses while she destroyed you. I'm so sorry. I wrote on my notepad. Why now? Because I finally realized something. I wasn't protecting our family. I was protecting my image of our family. And that image was killing you. He showed me his phone. He'd been getting death threats from Mom's supporters, people calling him Judas, saying he betrayed a woman of God. Let them talk. I know what I did, what I didn't do. I have to live with that. The criminal charges were filed Friday afternoon. Child endangerment, assault, fraud, embezzlement. Mom faced 15 years if convicted on all counts. Her lawyer tried to argue religious freedom, said she was practicing her faith through strict training. The prosecutor shut that down immediately. Religious freedom doesn't include poisoning children with veterinary drugs. Patricia got charged separately, practicing medicine without a license, distributing controlled substances, child endangerment. She was looking at 20 years. Saturday, Mom made bail, $500,000. Her sister put up her house as collateral. The first thing she did was start a YouTube channel, Persecuted for Parenting. She posted a 40-minute video claiming this was all spiritual warfare, that I was possessed by demons, that the church had been infiltrated by Satan. It got 2 million views before YouTube took it down for violating community guidelines, but her supporters had already downloaded it, shared it. Some pastor in Texas invited her to speak at his church about facing persecution. Dad got a restraining order that afternoon. Mom couldn't come within 500 feet of me, couldn't contact me, couldn't mention me online. She violated it within hours. Posted on Facebook that I was being held hostage by the government, that Dad had been brainwashed by secular psychiatrists. She was arrested again Sunday morning, 1 week after Easter. This time, no bail. With Mom back in custody, the real medical battle began. 2 weeks in the hospital, 3 surgeries. The first one was just exploratory. The surgeon came out looking grim. The vocal cords are severely scarred. We removed 7 nodules. Some were the size of peas. Dad gripped my hand. Will she sing again? Professionally? Unlikely. But she'll speak again. With extensive therapy. The second surgery was to repair the hemorrhaging. The third was to remove scar tissue that was blocking my airway. I woke up with a breathing tube, couldn't even whisper for a month. The toxicology report on Mom's throat spray came back. Codeine, tramadol, ketamine, lidocaine, dexamethasone, a cocktail designed to numb everything while pushing through damage. She could have had a heart attack, the doctor told Dad. This combination at these doses could have killed her at any moment. Child Protective Services opened a full investigation, not just into Mom, but into the church, the other parents, everyone who knew and did nothing. The caseworker was a woman named Janet, who'd seen everything in 20 years on the job. Even she was shocked. I've seen physical abuse, sexual abuse, neglect, but this, systematic torture disguised as talent development, this is new. And they assigned me a therapist who specialized in performance abuse, Dr. Martinez. First session, she sat across from me while I wrote on a whiteboard. I don't know who I am without singing. Your voice matters even in silence, she said. Your story matters more than any song. She explained what had happened to me. Performance abuse is about control. Your mother didn't see you as a person. You were an extension of her failed dreams, a tool for her glory. I wrote, I loved singing once. You might love it again, or you might find something new to love. Both are okay. The speech therapy started week 3. Lisa, my therapist, was young, maybe 25. She'd recovered from her own vocal damage after node surgery. We're going to start with breathing. Just breathing. It took 2 weeks to make any sound at all. A rasp, like sandpaper on wood. That's huge, Lisa said. That's your voice fighting back. Week 4, I managed to whisper. Week 6, I could speak in short sentences. My voice sounded different, deeper, rougher. Nothing like the clear soprano Mom had tortured out of me. This is my real voice, I told Lisa. How does it feel? Like meeting myself for the first time. The medical bills were astronomical. 3 surgeries, 6 weeks in the hospital, daily therapy, Dad's insurance covered some. The rest came from an unexpected source. The church congregation started a fund. Not for Mom, for me. For all of us kids she'd hurt. They raised $40,000 in 2 weeks. We failed you, Pastor Williams wrote in a letter. This won't fix it. But maybe it can help you heal. Some of Mom's livestream viewers contributed too. People who'd watched thinking they were seeing dedication, realizing they'd funded torture. One woman sent $5,000 with a note. I watched every stream. I praised your mother's strength. I'm complicit. I'm sorry, but the hardest part wasn't physical. It was psychological. I still hear her voice, I told Dr. Martinez, telling me I'm weak, that I'm failing God. That's not God's voice. That's trauma. We're going to learn to separate them. 6 months of therapy ahead. Learning that love doesn't require suffering, that excellence doesn't demand destruction, that God, if he existed, wouldn't want children tortured in his name. Your mother weaponized faith, Dr. Martinez explained. She made you believe pain was holy. It's not. Pain is just pain. The trial started 6 months after Easter. Mom showed up in a conservative black suit, hair pulled back, no makeup, her lawyer's idea, make her look like a victim of overzealous prosecution. She pleaded not guilty to everything: child endangerment, assault, fraud, embezzlement. My client was practicing her constitutionally protected religious freedom, her lawyer argued. Strict parenting is not abuse. The prosecutor was ready. Your Honor, we have 47 recorded practice sessions. They played the first video. Me, 15 years old, crying while Mom slapped me for missing a note. The slap echoed through the courtroom. Several jury members flinched. The second video was worse. Me at 16, coughing blood while Mom forced me to keep singing. She'd forgotten the camera was still rolling when she said, I don't care if you die up there as long as you hit the high note first. By video 10, 2 jury members were crying. The financial records came next. $42,000 stolen over 3 years. Mom had created fake receipts for music equipment that never existed. Invoices for voice lessons I never received. She'd even charged the church for my medical care while pocketing the money. My medical records made the judge go pale. 7 vocal nodules, scarred vocal cords, traces of veterinary ketamine in my blood, photos of my throat that looked like a war zone. This child was systematically tortured, the prosecutor said. This wasn't discipline. This was attempted murder. The other families testified. Emma's mother sobbed on the stand, describing finding her daughter in the bathroom with a knife, unable to speak, wanting to die rather than perform again. Sarah's father showed videos of his daughter lip-syncing to hide her destroyed voice, while her mother collected performance fees. Michael's parents presented his audiologist reports, permanent hearing loss from being forced to play drums with infected ears. Mom's lawyer tried one last defense. Vanessa was a willing participant. She never refused. She never ran away. The prosecutor stood up. Your Honor, I'd like to call Dr. Martinez to explain coercive control. Dr. Martinez testified for an hour, explaining how abused children don't run, how they're programmed to comply, how they believe the abuse is love. Vanessa couldn't refuse, she explained. She was conditioned from childhood to believe her pain was holy. That suffering meant love. That's not consent. That's Stockholm Syndrome. Mom finally took the stand on day 3. She was perfect, calm, composed, crying at just the right moments. I only wanted excellence for my daughter. Every athlete suffers for their sport. Every dancer bleeds for their art. I was preparing her for greatness. By drugging her with ketamine? The prosecutor asked. I didn't know what was in Patricia's spray. I trusted her expertise. You live-streamed your daughter coughing blood. You made money from it. The donations were for her training. Every penny went to her future. Then where is it? Where's the $42,000? Mom went silent. Her lawyer objected. The judge overruled. Mrs. Chen, where is the money? I don't recall. The prosecutor pulled up Mom's Instagram. Designer bags, expensive jewelry, spa treatments, all posted during the same period she was stealing from the church. You don't recall buying this Louis Vuitton bag? This Cartier bracelet? This week at the Canyon Ranch spa? Mom's mask finally cracked. I deserved something for my sacrifice. Do you know what I gave up for her? My whole life. The courtroom went silent. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. Guilty on all counts. The judge spoke directly to Mom during sentencing. Mrs. Chen, you turned your daughter into an object, a tool for your ego. You poisoned her, beat her, and broadcast her suffering for profit. You perverted faith into torture. You destroyed a child's gift because you couldn't accept your own failures. 3 years prison, 5 years probation, mandatory parenting classes, psychiatric evaluation, restitution of $60,000, and a restraining order. No contact with me until I turn 21. Even then, only if I initiate. Mom screamed as they led her away. This is persecution. I'm a political prisoner. God will vindicate me. But God stayed silent, just like he had during all those basement practices. 6 months after the trial, I started my senior year at public school. First day, August. I stood outside Riverside High holding Dad's hand like I was 5 years old again. My voice was still rough, raspy, like I'd been smoking for decades instead of being systematically poisoned for years. You don't have to do this, Dad said. We can keep homeschooling. I need normal. Normal meant calculus and cafeteria food and gossip about homecoming, not live-streamed torture sessions in church basements. I joined theater tech, not performing, building sets, running lights, being invisible behind the scenes. The drama teacher, Mr. Rodriguez, was married to the counselor who'd tried to help me. No pressure to perform, he said first day. Just create. I painted backdrops, built platforms, learned to run the soundboard. My hands stayed busy while my voice rested. Alex picked me up every day after school. We'd been together since the trial. He never asked me to sing, never mentioned music unless I brought it up first. We'd sit in his car eating McDonald's and talking about anything except what happened. You know you saved my life, I told him one afternoon. You saved your own life. I just recorded it. Dad was different now. He'd started therapy the day after Mom's arrest, every Tuesday at 4. He'd come home with red eyes and new apologies. I learned a new word today, he said one night. Enabler, that's what I was. I enabled her abuse by looking away. Why did you? Because admitting she was wrong meant admitting I was wrong. And I built my whole identity on being right. On being the good Christian father. The wise Sunday school teacher. We were rebuilding, slowly, eating dinner together, watching movies, learning who we were without Mom's constant performance demands. The church changed everything after the trial. New policies, no practice over 2 hours, no minors alone with adults, mandatory reporter training for all volunteers, background checks. Margaret Williams ran the music program now. We have 30 kids in choir, she told me when I visited. They sing because they want to. Nobody cries at practice anymore. Sarah Patterson texted me every week. Her voice was slowly returning after surgery and proper therapy. Not perfect, but hers. You saved all of us. Emma's in art school now. Michael's studying engineering. Trinity's at community college. We're all free because you spoke up. Mom wrote letters from prison, one every week. The same handwriting that used to mark my sheet music with brutal corrections. Dad kept them in a box in the garage, unopened. When you're ready, he said. Or never. Your choice. I wasn't ready. Maybe never would be. Speech therapy continued twice a week. Lisa had me doing scales. Not singing scales. Speaking scales. Rising and falling tones. Strengthening what remained of my voice. Say ah, longer. Ah, beautiful. You're getting stronger. Will I ever sound normal? You'll sound like you. The real you, not the voice your mother forced out of you. One day in October, I was painting a backdrop for the fall play when I started humming. Not performing, not practicing, just humming while I painted. It felt strange, foreign, but not wrong. Mr. Rodriguez heard, didn't say anything, just smiled and kept working on his lighting design. I might want to study music therapy, I told Dad that night. Help kids who've been through what I went through. That's beautiful. Not performance, never performance, but maybe helping others heal through music. He hugged me. Your mom's in prison. You're planning a future. 6 months ago, I thought I'd be planning a funeral. November. Lisa graduated me from speech therapy. Your voice is stable. It'll never be what it was, but it's yours now. For the first time, actually. That's what I kept telling people. This rough, raspy voice that would never win competitions or impress scouts. It was mine. Not manufactured through abuse, not forced through fear, just mine. 2 years later, I'm studying music therapy at community college. Not to perform. Never to perform. To help kids who've been where I was, kids whose parents confused torture with training. My voice is maybe 60% back. I can speak clearly now, hold conversations without getting winded. But singing professionally, that door closed on Easter Sunday when I coughed blood onto a white stage in front of 500 people. I'm okay with that. I never wanted to sing professionally. That was Mom's dream, beaten into me one practice session at a time. I started a support group on campus. Reclaiming Your Voice. We meet Thursday nights in the basement of the student center. 23 members now, former gymnasts with destroyed joints, ex-dancers with eating disorders, child actors with anxiety so bad they can't watch movies. We sit in a circle and talk about what was done to us in the name of excellence. Dad remarried last spring. Anna's a kindergarten teacher, soft-spoken, always asks before hugging me, never mentions my voice unless I bring it up first. She makes Dad laugh in a way I never saw with Mom. Mom gets out next year, model prisoner, apparently, found God in prison, which is ironic since she claimed to have him all along. She runs a prayer group for inmates, calls it Ministry to the Incarcerated. Still live streams, because of course she does. She sent me over 200 letters, all returned unopened. Dad keeps them in a storage unit with the rest of her things. Says they'll be there if I ever want them. I won't. Some of her original viewers reached out after the trial. They hadn't known. They'd thought they were watching dedication, not destruction. They're horrified. Sorry. One woman sent $1,000 for my therapy with a note. I cheered while you suffered. I'm so sorry. I sing in the shower now, quietly, carefully, just for me. Not hymns, pop songs, silly songs. Songs Mom would have called worldly and worthless. My voice cracks on high notes, goes raspy on low ones, sounds nothing like the trained soprano Mom tortured out of me. Last week, my therapist asked if I miss performing. I miss loving music, I said, but I'm learning to love it again. Differently, safely. She asked about Mom, if I've forgiven her. I nothing her, I said. She's not my mother. She's just someone who hurt me. Forgiving her would mean she still matters. Tonight, I'm teaching a workshop for parents at the community center. Warning signs of performance abuse. The room's already full. 50 parents who don't want to become my mother. Who want their kids to love their talents, not fear them. Alex will be there. He always is. Still recording, but now it's these workshops, these stories. Evidence that might save another kid from bleeding on a stage while their parent films it for donations. My voice might be broken, but for the first time in my life, it's actually mine.